everybody, welcome to Decoding the Process. We are so happy to have you here again. We have had so much to discuss about, and we are so glad because you're engaging us and we're getting to understand what are the needs that we need to keep on addressing, and that is amazing on our side. We were able to discuss about a number of things last time. That is the hunting game. Can a woman propose, and how men should also do it so well. So this time we are going forth to now addressing in this hunting game, or rather even into the dating, how can we identify fake people? Because we realize there could actually be con men and con women. Vile mnaibiangwa do uko nje, or those circumstances you face when it comes to cash. There are people who can con your heart outside here. So how can we get to understand and see how these things can actually come? We can come across them, and vulnerable situations that we come across and find ourselves actually in the hands of jackals who are in need of other things and not a relationship. So karibu sana Prince, you can also give us what you have in mind as well as introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you, and welcome our viewers. We are so glad that we are moving on well, and the people are following up. We are getting quite a number of responses on what we are doing and what we are addressing here, and it is so encouraging that people are following up. People are getting to learn, and we are also on getting to research more. We want to know what really young people need, how they need to, what is expected of them to be able to move from one stage to another. What we need, like the previous show that we had on Can a Woman Propose? It was a nice one.
Yeah, it was very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So today we are well set.
Yes, we are very well set to address these real issues. We know we all need great men and of course great women in our lives, and most importantly, we are thinking of course we want spiritual people, we want people who can do prayer and all those things, but we really need to also understand there are other aspects of relationships that needs to be addressed, and especially those people who come from the church spectrum. They are the most vulnerable people, because these people know I can have somebody for status and I continue with my life the way I want to do it. So be very, very, very keen with all these things. They are very real outside here, and if you don't take care, you might fall victim of it. So we go straight to what we need to discuss. So as we are saying, do we actually have people who do not have the right intentions in any relationships, and even in the journey of seeking for a partner? Do we actually have people that have ill intentions, very intentional? They know it, not that it's unaware. They know what they want, what they are looking for, and it's not you, but they are using you in that relationship.
In any kind of a relationship, in most cases nowadays, we have people that are getting into a relationship with bad intentions. And when we talk about bad intentions, we are basically talking about these people that are getting in a relationship kukutumia, to use you. There is something they want to get somewhere, wakikutumia, they want to use you, they make you a stepping stone to where they are going. Probably, especially the young people, some of them will get into relationships looking for experience. Mwingine anaenda kupima tu aone mtu akidate msichana anakaa hivi inakuwaga namna gani. You want to learn from you want to use somebody as a control experiment. You want to use them. You want to use people. So nowadays it's very common, especially with the young people, and even people that are in church. There are so many relationships that are not genuine. As you have seen, that there are people that are out there to con your heart. Very fake. They are not into the real thing. They just want to move. They want you to move them from a point A to point B. Then when they're in a maisha. Yeah.
But of course they want to use you being there, because that's the only scapegoat. If they're not there with you, then of course there's no benefit towards anything, isn't it? So I also agree that there are people who actually have ill intentions in any relationship. Sometimes it's predetermined, and sometimes maybe they know you and they realize they can get something out of this. So it's very important to be very careful, because not everyone, some people even get married, to even still con you. Watch out, easy dating. Because I've seen people who actually they make you sign papers quickly, because they know through you they can get an easy license or a green card. to go abroad, and that is only through marriage. You know, that thing can go faster. So there are so many people who have ill intentions, and you have to be very careful about how you manage these things. So probably you can give a few examples on your side.
And it is okay, still on the same, is a very painful and very exhaustive a kind of experience, because the moment you get into a relationship, you have given it your all, you know, with your good heart, with your good intention, you know, you are expecting something from a person, then they end up letting you down, is something very painful. So the people that are doing that, even as we engage, as we discuss about these people that are out there, very fake in the whole thing, is a very painful thing to the people. Yule mwenye anachezewa, yule mwenye kucheza, yule hana shinda sana, lakini yule mwenye kuchezewa is a very painful experience. And that's why these are some of the things that we need to look out into, because the moment you get into this, na ujui wewe ulikuwa umejitolea tu, ulikuwa umejimwaga pale na roho yako yote. Wanasema kwa Kiswahili, wanasema kwa hali na mali. Ulikuwa umejimwaga kwa hali na mali, lakini yule mtu alikuwa amepitia tu, he was just passing by. Then wewe umejimwaga tu. It is actually a very painful thing. So on this, I would say that it is okay. It is three ways. Sometimes it is the lady playing, or rather being fake in the relationship. Then in some other cases, it is a gentleman. Ama saa zingine wote. It happens watu wanachezeana. Wewe unanipima na mimi nakupima. So tunapimana. Unapimana tu in the process. Wewe unafikiria unachezea mtu, lakini kumbe hata yeye anakuchezea. Especially this young generation. Unapata wote wanachezeana. So those are the three common cases that we have noted in this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically we'll go straight to a few of how can you really get to see that somebody actually has these characteristics. That generally the people who are so vulnerable to this situations, especially those people who are mama's boys and mama's girls, or the other way around. You know, you're used to a very good environment. You think everyone is so good outside there. So most likely, you know, just like a thief can tell where it's very easy to steal, they know very well where it's easy to steal somebody's heart. So you're very vulnerable, because at your point, you see people, you know, people say you see the world as you are. So because you are very used to a very good environment, you know, people care about you, you have been taken care of, you end up entering the world with the same attitude, not understanding that some of these things are actually real outside here. People might appear like that, but that is not their real self. I also feel circumstances like people who come to you feeling so needy, and of course when you see somebody is telling you about you're already into a relationship, or maybe you're friends and hoping to be in a relationship, and the person is easily telling you about, you know, there's some school fees or some debt I have to pay, or they keep mentioning those things, they might really know that is where their heart is, because they say out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So if that person keeps speaking about all the gaps in their life, that means they might actually be in the process of wanting to use you, because probably you're a woman or a lady in a position, or even a man who's being called in the position to fill in these gaps that this person has in their lives. That is why you find men are educating women outside there, and by the time they're done with their college, the woman is far gone.
Yes, see woman peke yake.
And even the other way, even the other way around. Yes.
Wakimaliza anajipa shughuli.
Yes, and even nowadays women are so empowered such that they are also feeding men outside here, and men are also beginning to use women. Yes, na pia wanatumiwa fair. Wacha vile tunasema ati ni only women who are sent for fair, even men are.
Tumemaliza men's conference, tumeambiwa tusitume fair.
Men's conference ilisha kitambo anyway. So we want you viewers to really get to indulge with us. Have you actually ever been in such a situation? Because I have a friend who was left with a loan of around 250,000.
Why?
And no job, no anything. This man tells you, I have a business, and that business has been going down. I need to refire it.
Mistari.
And then because you love this person,
that is the real measure of a man.
No.
Mistari.
And especially me, for a man, you know, you should not. I feel you need to be the provider. Coming into the relationship and really demanding so much into, especially from the lady, is a bit of another. And you know, on the other way around, we can say it's your responsibility somehow. But for a woman, it's a bit, even a very big red flag, or rather a red duvet, because a man really coming even asking you for money, big amounts of money, you, and he has been having friends, he has been having social circles, kuna hata sako huko nje and bank accounts. Mbona akuulize wewe? If that person cannot ask from those places.
Si ni upendo.
No. If I'm not married to you, I should not give myself such a kind of commitment. Me, that is what I think. Because we are dating and we are not so sure if 2 months down the line we will still be together. And I'm already taking a loan for you. That is a big step to take. Until we are committed for life. When I know we are now doing things together and investing together.
What do you mean by commitment?
Commitment is marriage. We are partners for life, and we have been committed. You know, however you decided to settle down, maybe you went to the, you know, civil office, maybe you did a cultural, you know, or even a church wedding, either way, but I'm committed to you. That is when I can invest even my resources, because it's very risky when I'm dating, even for any kind of person outside there, really giving into so much, and this thing is not even maybe a sure bet. You might be left with so much heartbreaks, and people might, you know, of course they have gotten what they need from that relationship, and they can easily walk out once they gain what they want.
So sometimes sometimes you may invest so much, mpaka mtu aone sasa amepata ya kutosha, anajipa shughuli, anatoka.
Yes. Me, I'd say if you really feel like you want to help somebody, maybe you feel like somebody has a situation where you can come in, well, just help them, but don't commit to them, because sometimes that commitment can force them to keep using you for any circumstance. Just like you go to the street, when you see a beggar, you only drop a coin and go home. You don't carry them to your house. If there is somebody who is needy, you don't have to commit to them so that you can help them. Help them if you have the chance and walk. Because if you commit to them, we are more tied to really helping them over and over. And when somebody comes in so needy, they will continuously, that is how they are. They will always ask for help anytime, every time, because that is how they are wired.
But on the same, do you mean that we don't have genuine cases?
There are genuine cases, that's what I'm saying. Because of the genuine cases, you help without first tying yourself to that person. Because sometimes people think that sympathy is going to force this person to commit to them. Because maybe I have an attraction to you, probably you came to me, you have an issue with school fees or your master's degrees or all those things. And then I feel like because I'm helping you, you have to give back by being in a relationship with me. And not realizing I'm actually putting myself in a trap. That person can be there until they get what they want. And once they have gotten what they want, they will show you dust. Pure dust. So there are genuine cases, but if you feel you have the need to help, you help and continue your journey. You don't need to commit to that person to be a helper to that person.
Great.
Yes. So those are a few examples, and and so many. Then you can now go to the depth of other few examples that we have seen actually outside here that people use from both sides, even as a con man, as a con woman. There are so many things people do, and from your side as a man, how do you identify a woman can be a con woman?
Okay, on this, I will address a number of probably a number of issues or a number of things that we are likely to identify in a lady or brother in a relationship, and you realize that hapa huyu mtu ni kama anataka kunitumia. Especially I'll talk much on the guys because we have been there and we are still there, and we are the people that are still interacting out here with the gentlemen and doing all sort of things. Firstly, I would wish to say that in any kind of a relationship, or when you get into rather a friendship that we say is going to grow into a relationship, whenever you are in a relationship, then you realize that huyu mtu hataki muonekane na yeye. Kazi yake ni tu mkiingia kwa hoteli anataka muingie pale kwa kona. Hataki mkae mahali mnaweza onekana, hata CCTV inaweza kuwaona. You want a very private, you know, a very secret kind of a life, or a kind of a relationship. That is a red flag. That any person that is in a relationship should watch out, because the moment somebody wants, you know, a secret, hata marafiki zako hataki mjuane, hataki mkutane, akikwambia want you to meet a friend, anambia I'm busy. Yani somebody that wants the two of you is just private. Hata mkisema you want to take a walk, the two of you, hakuna mambo ya kunini. If you are planned to meet for something, even hata kama ni coffee or something, they are not ready to engage into some other things. There are still so many other things as we talk about this. Sisi wanaume, ukiona mtu ameitisha nudes, sema nudes. Hiyo ni maneno. hiyo ni maneno kwa sababu sasa the moment it gets to a point that somebody wants to, you know, wants you exposed, that person is not for your heart, exactly. Is for your body. Yes. And the moment a man is going for your body, that man is not meant for marriage. Is not meant for a relationship. He doesn't even respect you.
And even have security for you, because nudes on a mobile phone nowadays, everything is tracked. Having a photo coming from phone to other phone, even if I delete it, Google Photos has already put its own tracking system, so that is very dangerous.
So ikifika mahali mtu ameinsist na anasema ukikataa kunitumia mimi hata sitaki mambo yako sasa. You know, and somebody is actually demanding, you know, it's getting to those levels that mtu ana demand. And we have our phones all over, watu wakituma and you hear young people discussing. One thing you need to understand, kama ameitisha kwako, ataitisha kwa mwingine na atakombea. And that's why I'm saying this is somebody that is not going for the heart, is going for the body. And anybody that is going for the body, because after demanding for the news, then you deliver the news. What follows? Sex. So the next thing they are going to demand after the news is sex. And the moment now they start demanding for sex, so we talk of, if somebody has been demanding for news, then you deliver on the news, then they demand on sex. Any person that demands on sex, sex, as we said, is meant for the married people. It is a sacred thing. So anybody that is demanding for sex in any relationship, wherever you are, tulisema hakuna mambo ati ya kupeleka ati testing hii si gari. Unaona, this is something that is created by God in the image of God. Hakuna mambo ya testing ati road test. Hakuna mambo ya road test. So anybody that is going for sex, that person is not for marriage. Yes. There's still other many things. We talk about lies. Mtu mwongo. Unajua watu waongo. Mtu anakudanganya. Yaani mtu anaweza kudanganya mpaka unaona hii dunia yenyewe. That somebody that is out there to lie in any kind of a relationship, that's a red flag. Mtu mwenye kazi yake ni kudanganya from day one. Anakupeleka hivi. And let me tell you, if you want to know somebody that is lying, check on the consistency of the information that they give you. Keep on, you know, finding out what they told you the first day. Are they consistent in what they are telling you? So ukiona ni uongo and very fake promises. Giving very fake promises. Somebody that is out there anakupromise vitu but they don't deliver. Hata siku ya Valentine alikuwa amekupromise ndakupea hii, ndakufanyia hii. Kwa sababu mko wengi haikupatikana. Very fake promises. So those kind of people that are in any kind of a relationship, they are never, you know, they are not out there to keep a promise. You know, love is between two people, and whenever you promise something, you feel that I should be committed to deliver. So if somebody is not committed to deliver a promise, then that person is not into that thing. And especially men, the moment somebody falls in, in love with somebody, you feel like I want to invest in this person. You know, something that I have promised, I feel like I need to do it and do it in a better way. You know, if I promised, probably if I promised a chocolate, I feel like I should deliver something better than this. You know, that is the nature of men. Because actually we are givers, we are created to give, and naturally that is how we are. So anytime a person is out there and they never keep a promise, you know, they are out there for fake promises, then that is a red flag that you need to watch out on. Then I talk of people that are always out there to throw in the towel. Oh, what does this mean? In any kind of a relationship, conflict will always be there. People will always disagree. You know, you'll find that mlikuwa mmepanga kitu akakuingiana. People that will never stand to, to resolve a conflict to the end, those people are not there into this relationship. So anybody that is not there to fight for, or to deal or to resolve a conflict that comes your way, then you need to realize that this is a red flag. Huyu ni mtu unavaa uende mapema sana. I can talk about so many other things. Hata kuna ingine ninaitanga 60 cents mimi. 60 cents ni ile unakaa hivi unasikia hapana. Nasikia hapana. Yes. You feel like this person,
even the men have a 6 cents.
Yes, sisi tuko na hata 7. Sisi tuko na mingi. Tuko na mingi. Well, you feel that huyu mtu kuna vile yani nasikia. Onja. Hiyo ingine ni ya kuchukulia simu kwa choo.
Kwa choo mkiwa
hii mambo simu inapigwa hivi mko kwa hoteli alafu mtu anachomoka anaenda akichukua hivi akiendanga they can't you see. And then hii mambo ya a friend of mine says is like he's dating a pilot. Every time you are together simu iko kwa flight mode. Yani you are like, are you dating a pilot? Ama unaendaje hapa? You know that is yani every time ataki ati ikue ama ati net ikue on
and if you put it on flight mode to have time with
watu bwana, some of them is like we are dating pilots.
So men, you have to actually be online if I really want to trust you.
Okay. Basically we are talking about trust. Simu ikipigwa there is no harm. Chukua, hata unaweza ambia mtu I'm in a meeting. Lakini mambo ya kwenda choo huko alafu sasa unafunika mdomo ati you are communicating. Those are things, we need to learn to trust each other in a relationship. We need to grow with each other. So hii mambo ya kuogopa, hata kama ni nani amepiga, hata kama ni ex amepiga, mwambie I'm in a meeting. Yes, I'm in a meeting. Excuse me. Being with a friend is a very important meeting.
Very important meeting, yeah. And I agree with you totally, because there are some of these things we do, including our gadgets. Gadgets have destroyed so many relationships. Somebody is not very open with me even in terms of mobile phones, and you see there's a lot they hide. You can't even access their phones. They are afraid of it. It is a very big red flag. Binazitanga red duvet, because honestly nowadays they are so clear to us, and we only ignore them. We ignore them so much because we feel we are so in love, and we forget there is so many years ahead of us beyond love. Am I making the right decision? Because at some point, just like we go to business, you test a lot. You go with a very skeptical attitude to really understand, is this business going to succeed? Is it worth investing the money I am? I feel you should do the same when dating. Can you really determine, is this person really fit for my life? Don't just go all in without even having to first identify if this person actually can fit in and is very qualified for us to spend a lifetime together. So it is very true. Some of these things are very, very, very bad things for us to even consider to be with someone.
How do you identify this is the wrong man for you people?
First, people, you have actually mentioned so much, but of course, some of the things.
Sisi hatuchukuliangi simu kwa choo. Sisi
kwa nini ndo mnachukuanga sana kwa choo? You are the ones who started this game. Sisi ndo tunajaribu kufuatilia siku hizi, by the way. You're the mastermind. Now, for us, what you said is actually very applicable on the other side.
Okay.
And most of the time you realize it's actually, apart from, for ladies, when we really want to just be there because of the money, that is the most common situation that ladies have. Probably they are conning you because of a certain advantage they are getting from your life. Because most of the time, if I'm dating a man, they're always ahead of me. And most importantly, maybe I'm still growing. So they have more advantage towards many other things compared to me. So I end up maybe giving in because there are other things I want. And most of the time it's just that. But for the men, identifying a con man also applies the same. There are those who still con women because of the money. They come with so many needs. There are those who also come, and you can tell, of course, they are really rushing you. One thing, men are the leaders, and we allow them to actually spearhead the relationship. If a man is really rushing me so much,
microwave,
we have just met, you want me to date, the next week we want me to meet even your mother. As in, sometimes there need to be some protocol, because I feel you're really entangling me to things that nikijoko mbele there is something I should consider and leave you. I already know your mother. I'm like, do I leave? A man who's really rushing me into things and coercing me into other, because sometimes they take you to their parents and they know very well, the parents even know you're like a rescue to this person. So they will convince you all the time to really stay with this man even if you want to leave. And you will always listen to them because you are in love. And sometimes at the early stages, love overrides so many of these sensible things. So sometimes for a man who's really rushing things, it's a very big issue. Maybe he knows he has either another wife somewhere and doesn't want me to know in due time because I meet so many people. Not even about that. Maybe there's an issue, just is covering up by making things go so fast in that relationship. So there needs to be a procedure and a process, because this relationship is growing and I don't need to know you today. I've not even known your friends. You want me to go home. It has to have some steps we need to follow. So that is one major thing I can say from the man's side, mostly. That is an issue.
Whenever people get into, they are friends, and you have started, you have started developing some feelings for the other person. I feel it is important to study this person. Umwelewe huyu ni mtu wa aina gani before you get into deep love, because the moment you are in love, umeingiana kabisa, it becomes so hard to learn so much about a person. So it is always important that you take some time. You take some time, you know, to study this person. Huyu mtu anapenda nini, huyu mtu anaendaga wapi, huyu mtu, you know, the kind of a person he is. So that when you get into deep love, vitu zikibadilika, you can be able to tell. Akivaa mask, utajua hii sura ninajua hii.
So that is why it's not good to really date or marry with urgency. Take your time. Even if you're in the late ages, you have come that far, please go the same distance. You can't, you know, risk the next years of your life just because you want to settle down very quickly. So don't marry out of urgency or even date out of urgency. Take your time and learn this person, because your life is worth all that. Yes. So basically, those are some of the things we can mention in terms of really understanding somebody in your life. And especially there is also another thing that has come to my mind, that I'm not telling you to avoid needy people and probably people who have been raised in extreme circumstances. For instance, people who have been raised in extreme poverty or orphans. You know, those are people who are vulnerable to some things. Well, I'll say this, those people can be good and probably have good, very values they have inculcated in their lives. But you don't know them until they're exposed into other kinds of life, because they have been surviving, they have not been themselves, they haven't had the opportunity to be themselves. So you need somebody who, for instance, if they have been raised in extreme circumstances, may you just give them time to grow into different levels and see if their character is consistent. Because these people can still come to your life and they feel like, you know, like orphans. They might be there with you, not because they need a partner, they need a parent in their lives. So you wonder why there's no connection between the two of us. Probably this person wanted a mother figure or a father figure. So when down 2 years down the line you don't see any romance, you are wondering, this person is seeing you like a parent and they are satisfied with that. So there are circumstances that you really have to put somebody into test and allow them to, you know, for instance, somebody who has been raised in poverty, see them when they have money. Can they behave the same? Do they have characters that are actually aligning in both situations? Because sometimes it's true. Money reveals the true character of many of us. It is very true. It can reveal so much about a person, only that I didn't have the opportunity and the money to actually explore all those, you know, things. Probably he's a womanizer, but they don't have an opportunity, you know, for you to really have a woman in your life, you actually have to have the money. You know, if somebody's not serious in your life, you really have to keep them with other things. So probably now, until they get this money, can they even still maintain their values and standards that they've had? So that is another very crucial situation that we need to keep focusing on, because sometimes we ignore them thinking that they are very good people, they have been good people, they have been, actually tunawahurumia because sasa kwanza amekuwa orphan, mpaka unamhurumia mpaka unampea roho yako. I
know of a lady who got married by, as you're saying, an orphan. So the guy was looking for a mother, not a wife.
Yes, and
so and she got married. Wakakaa miaka 5, the lady akafeel hapana, this one, huyu alikuwa anataka mama, sio wife.
And sometimes, even if it's not very intentional, it is in their instincts. They have never had a mother figure in their life. That is why we said previously that there are 2 things you need to do before you even begin dating. Do you understand yourself, and have you solved your past issues? Because if you don't solve your past issues, you will demand them from this partner who's coming into your life. Sometimes we have had maybe abusive parents, and we have not solved those pain moments, and then we go there, we are expecting so much from these people because we haven't experienced love, and then we end up draining them. So it's very important to solve your issues, your past issues, because as it said, we don't determine where we come from, but we can change the path of where we are headed to. And it's very important to change it for the best cause. There's no need for you to come from a bad background and still go to a bad one. You can change the course and make the best decision in your life. Yes. So
in any relationship, basically what is more important is that let somebody get prepared. You know, prepare that, get ready. I want to get into a relationship. Be ready. Prepare your mind, prepare your heart. That is whatever you are getting into. Isikuwe ni kama ni ajali tu umeangukia. You know, you have heard of these people. Hapa unapata tu watu wamekutana leo, tomorrow they are married, and then after 2 or 3 days wameachana. You know, that kind of a life, and that is not in the plan of God. Whereby you find that people cannot. If we usually talk of if you have not taken time, you know, in a relationship, you have never taken time to study each other. Hakuna vile mnaenda ati kusoma, you know, to study each other mkiingia kwa marriage. It is not possible. So unapata the time to learn or to get to understand each other is when you are dating. That is at this particular stage.
Yeah. So what can you tell somebody who's probably already in such a relationship and they can tell, anyway, from this discussion, I am being conned. Somebody is faking everything, and how would you tell somebody to handle that?
We've always saying that unbroken relationship is better than unbroken marriage. Whenever you find yourself, or some of the red flags, whatever that you're putting across here, whenever you identify this is not the right person, please organize yourself. When talking of organize yourself, prepare yourself. Utoke, unjiteme kabla ya utemwe, unjitoe kabla ya utolewe. Ukanyange nje na tena ukanyange kubwa kubwa. You know, as I said, it's very painful, it's exhaustive, but now you have to decide, because this person atakutumia, na badala ya kutumiwa afadhali ufanye nini? Unjitoe. The moment you realize this is not the person that I wanted, njipe shughuli.
Yeah, do not settle for less. There's so much outside here, so many good men, but then sometimes people think nikiachana na huyu will I get somebody. So many good and better people outside here that can actually fulfill the dream you desire, and it's important for you to just, you know, take courage and begin to move. Sometimes it's not easy to move from a relationship. It takes a lot of courage, a lot of decisiveness, and it takes a lot of energy as well for you to be able to stop, you know.
Yeah, you even lose some kgs.
Yes.
Utapoteza kilo.
Umeshazoea, you know, something like, sometimes the issue is you're used to the love and the comfort of this person. So you might actually feel some gap the first few days, and you'd realize that you feel like, did I really make the wrong decision or anything? But it's not the wrong decision. It's just that your body is now trying to adjust to the new normal. It was used to somebody being in your life, and now they are completely detached from you. So what ends up to, it will of course feel devoid of something and all that, but with time it adjusts back to being a very, very good and well kept life. But don't jump into relationships. The best thing is to just, you know, think through anything and everything and take it as serious as it is, because people have lost so much in their lives, and it can even determine how much, even so many years of your lives can be taken. Some of us are even ending up with permanent things like children in that relationship because somebody wanted to put you there by force, and so they made sure they impregnated you so that you can be there. And sometimes we always want, you know, the fact that I'm impregnate, I have to marry them. So be very careful, and these things are very real outside here. Cindy, very real. Even us Christians and us people who represent what, you know, we are still finding people going through this, and even those people in church themselves do these things, and imagine they still say praise God. So it's very important for us to take this to note, and probably I'll give you some few minutes to give a parting shot to the whole session, then we can conclude.
Right. It is good. It is nice. And what we would wish to put across on this is that let people prepare for a relationship. Before you get into a relationship, prepare. Then, secondly, I would, as we sum up this, I would wish to say that whenever you realize that this person is not creating time for you, because time is very important in a relationship. Whenever somebody is not creating time for a relationship, to be with you, you know, to share with you, you know, to learn more about each other, then you should quit, and quit on time. And then after quitting, I always advice that take your time and you can get some counseling. We have had people because mtu ameachwa ama ametemwa na hataki kutemeka, unapata anakunywa dawa. You know, some of them have even committed suicide. So sometimes when you move out, find I talk of an accountability partner, somebody that you can work with. At least they will help you to adjust and share it with somebody. At least mtu mwenye unaweza amini. At least that one will help you to survive the whole situation.
Yes, so in short, if you need help, don't run to a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Go to somebody who can help you. Let's not get into relationships because we have issues and all those things. And be very careful because there are so many wolves and hyenas outside here really looking for prey. Be very, very careful and do not fall prey of all these things. What I'll just emphasize as we conclude is do not ignore red flags. Some of the times we see these things so clearly, but and especially when you keep on asking yourself, am I, please start asking, and when you see those questions coming, start questioning that relationship. Most probably that relationship is on the wrong path. So don't ignore the red flags, and also do not marry potential. I think marry the patterns. Don't marry potential because somebody has potential, but if they're not working towards it, the distance between myself and the potential I'm talking about is commitment, is hard work, is all those things. If that person is not applying that means hata your potential anakuambia they might not reach it. So marry the patterns towards the potential they are giving you, because the future will come and you will still have the same person if they are not working towards that. Otherwise, we wish you well in your relationships, and most importantly, we wish you wisdom as you go down the path of choosing the right person. Here with us every Tuesday at 9:45 p.m. We are so glad to have you only on Wema TV, on Facebook, on Instagram, and every other social media page, and we'll be glad to connect with you. Thank you very much.
Wema TV, the voice of hope.